We're going to talk a bit more about all of this with our international affairs editor Angela Diffley, who joins me now on set. Hi, Angela. Tell us a bit more, first of all, about why exactly this meeting's taking place.
Yes, so this is known as the AUKUS pact, these three countries, Australia, the UK and the United States. And they signed back in September 2021 this agreement to supply nuclear-powered submarines to Australia. There was some fallout in France. We'll talk about that a little later. But this was to deal with the perceived growing threat of China in that region. Now, since September 2021, the world has changed significantly, even more. We are witnessing a growing friendship, interdependency between Russia and China, which is the cause of worry for many. And very importantly, there is growing concern around Taiwan. And the CIA are saying that Xi has instructed the Chinese army to be ready for an invasion of Taiwan by 2027. That, of course, would have immeasurable consequences in terms of the international world order, the balance of power around the world. It is also, Taiwan, one of the most essential suppliers of semiconductors around the world. So there are very significant economic reasons as well. So these three countries are together in a partnership focusing on how they might increase Australia's defence capabilities and generally around that area.
So tell us a bit more about what announcements are due to come out today.
Yeah, so we'll get more detail on what submarines. It's thought that the United States is to supply 3 submarines, nuclear-powered submarines, with the option of 2 more. And we'll have more detail on the next level nuclear-powered submarines that the Australians are building. It should be stressed, these are deterrents. The Australians have ruled out carrying any atomic weapons. These will be built in Adelaide. They'll have UK design, American technology, and they should be ready by 2040. 2030s will be the expected date for the use of the US-supplied submarines at the moment.
So you mentioned before this problem that there was with France a while back. Tell us a bit more about what exactly happened back then and how France fits into all of this now.
Yeah, when this AUKUS pact was announced back in September 21, the French were furious. They, number one, and extremely importantly, lost a 36 billion euro contract to supply Australia with submarines. The Australians switched and said they didn't want them anymore. Also, they felt extremely sidelined. It looked a bit like an Anglosphere stitch-up. That was the sort of thing that was being read at the time. And the French took it very badly for economic reasons and because of what it said about them being sidelined. They also have New Caledonia and also other parts of France, islands, which are formerly part of France in that part of the world. And so they felt they had a very significant reason to be involved in this. Since that, in terms of the diplomacy, everything has been repaired. The Americans, Joe Biden, rushed to say things should have been handled differently. They wouldn't do it the same way again. The Australian Prime Minister visited in July, and the same thing as a new Prime Minister then, Anthony Albanese, as you said. So he tried to repair things. Rishi Sunak last Friday finally pushed it all back. And so diplomatically, things have been repaired. What is interesting is that for a while, France positioned itself as something of a balancing power in that part of the world between China and the United States. And more think tanks here in France are suggesting that France really needs to revisit that position and make some sort of announcement about where it situates itself now with this perceived growing threat from China.
Angela, thank you for that. Press 24's Angela Diffley.